Good evening, I'm the Game Tutor and tonight we're going to be grading Dead Rising 3 Super Ultra Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha. Now, this DLC for Dead Rising 3 was announced by Capcom during the Xbox One press conference at E3, and it was immediately available, which is pretty cool. But what is it, and should you buy it? Now, if the title wasn't a giveaway, the game is essentially a massive fan service fun fest. Totally separate to the main game with absolutely no links to the story, Dead Rising 3 Super Ultra Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha, okay, from now on let's just call it Super Dead Rising, sees you play with up to 4 people in an objective-based arcade battle. And things to do range from rescuing survivors, killing bikers, or even defeating a giant M bison. Essentially, it's an arcade game where you can jump in, do a load of stuff that was what made Dead Rising fun, and really get a kick out of doing it. Now, these are all timed, scored, and are most definitely competitive. This definitely isn't a co-op game. There are 4 major Dead Rising characters to control: Frank West, Chuck Green, Nick Ramos, and Annie Green. And these will come with 4 unlockable costumes which dramatically alter how these characters play. Each of these characters are based on classic past Capcom characters, some relatively obscure, some very well known. You get your Ryus and your Chun-Lis, but equally you get Regina from Dino Crisis and characters from Rival Schools and Onimusha. Now, graphically it's a little bit unusual. All the characters, including the zombies, have a very thick cel-shaded outline, bright colours and quite heavy shading. It's a little bit like Street Fighter 4's art style, but it does work well in the kind of over-the-top cartoony visual style they're going for. But the main thing is, how does super awesome Dead Rising play? Well, it definitely does play awesome. It's great fun to play and it doesn't outstand its welcome. I've played through the game several times now, and each time I want to get a slightly better score and come slightly higher up the leaderboard. Now, I'm a big fan of Dead Rising 3 Normal Edition, and this is essentially a concentrated, outlandish version with the volume turned up to 11. The best thing I can kinda liken it to is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, but for Dead Rising instead. One of the big appeals of this game is the fact that it takes the core Dead Rising experience and concentrates it down into short, sharp bursts with no chaff in between. There's a few little bits where it tends to drag a little, like sometimes running from point to point tends to slow things down, but generally the game is fast paced, quick, and you definitely want to see it through to the end. At a rather modest price of $7.99, this is a DLC well worth purchasing. So grab a rocket-powered electric traffic light and jump into Dead Rising 3 Super Ultra Mega Fantastical Awesome Balls Bold Wonder Arcade Hyper Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha Resurrection. No, seriously, it is quite good. If you have enjoyed tonight's video, please like and subscribe. If not, please let us know why in the comments section. If you have any suggestions for further videos, please let us know. And please find us on Twitter, Facebook and Twitch.